One of the interesting aspects that you have to get used to when you're working inside of these commercial domains of music, when music becomes a commodity that someone's going to use to support or sell another product, it's different. It's treated differently than when you write something in your room and someone might even perform it or you might even play it. And even that, the moment you record something, your relationship with that music changes because now anyone can record it. You've lost control over who can play that music. Now you're compensated for that. There's a standard, way that you're going to make money when other people record your music, but you no longer, you have the right to the first shot at it, but after that, it's now entered the public's ear, and you do not have the right to monopolize a piece of music. Well, it's even a little stricter, not stricter, but the reality is it's even a little different when you move into someone paying you to write a piece of music for a commercial or paying you to write up some music for a film. 98% of it is all done as what we call work for hire, which means they're going to pay you to write a piece of music, produce that recording, hand it over to them, and then they own it. It is their piece of music. It is their tape, it is their stuff. They expect you to have done all the right paperwork with the performers. They're going to want to see that paperwork. If it's a union, it's a large budget, it's usually a union budget, which means there's real forms and there's a real whole business protocol that has to be passed on. You're going to be asked to sign a contract that's going to read things that would frighten you to death, which basically is saying this is not yours now, The good news is, if you do it well, what's really important in that world is your personal reputation. Do you deliver what you say? Do you do what you say? Do you do it well? Do they like hanging out with you? Are you someone they want to have lunch with? Because, frankly, most of those guys don't know a whole lot, self-admittedly, about music. And in some weird sense, they're proud of that fact. Well, I don't really know, but I know what I want. And the most frightening words to hear from anybody is, I don't know anything about music, but I'll know it when I hear it, because that can enter you into a whole cycle of rewrites. And even that, man, when you move up the old food chain, you can be very specific to protect yourself. You can be very specific about what you're paid up front, how many rewrites they can expect, but remember, it's a business. So if you've agreed to do it for this much time, and they need that much time, and you refuse, they remember that, that can be a problem later. So you've got to make your decisions on that. But the primary thing, it's generally, I think the legal term is, right, work for hire, which means you will not own this anymore. And that holds true in feature films. I think, to my little bit of knowledge, probably someone like John Williams at that level is able to maintain some probably control of the concert rights to his film music. He probably has some ownership issues in there because of the level that he is. Because they know, i.e., Paramount or Sony, whoever, that the cat's going to go play it and there's going to be royalties generated and they want a piece of it, and if they don't give him some of it, he won't do it. He'll go write something else. So once you reach a certain level, all this is ultimately negotiable, but you got to be way up the food chain to start demanding much of anything from anybody. They're going to want your publishing, they're going to want your master tape, they're going to want total rights to it. I've been able to successfully limit, I don't want to hear this piece of music in another ad campaign for a different product. I've been able to say, it is for this one, you've got it, it's yours, but if you want to use it in a whole different product campaign, there's a reuse fee. I usually negotiate that percentage up front so that they know what it's going to cost them. I've been lucky and been able to do a little bit of that with giving them carte blanche for a time frame, and if they want to use it further, it'll cost you this much. But by the time I was able to do that, not only I had been doing it a long time, but I had been doing it for those people a long time. And I don't believe they were naive when they signed the agreement. I believe they were being cool, because it was like, fine, make you some bread too.